Welcome back to Hannity. Now, my next guest is the president of the group that is waging a war against Christmas smack in the middle of New York City's Times Square. The American Atheist group created this controversial billboard, which tells Americans to take the religion out of the season and reads, quote, "Who needs Christ at Christmas?" Now, the display on the billboard crosses out the word Christ and instead lists other reasons to celebrate the Christmas season. So, is this freedom of speech? Does it cross a line? Here to explain the reasoning behind the billboard, the man himself, American Atheist President David Silverman. Also joining us with other similar examples of the battle against Christmas is Fox News Radio's Todd Starnes. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
When you do that, it seems to me very obvious that the main thing you want to do is you want to poke people in the eye.
No.
You have the right to do it. You want to stick it to people. You want to make people upset. Well, it's obviously gotten attention for you, but that's your intention.
No, the intention is to raise awareness of the fact that Christmas is better without the religion. Year after year, people go to church.
Stop. No. Christmas isn't Christmas without the religion.
Christmas is absolutely Christmas without religion. In fact,
no,
that billboard
is not.
Look, folks, let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. Yes, they named that holiday after they moved it to the winter solstice, after they took over all of the pagan traditions, the Christmas trees, the gift givings. All that stuff is fun, but the going to church is not fun. Nobody likes it. Nobody enjoys it.
Wait a minute.
So go. If you enjoy it, you go. But what I'm saying is, and the purpose
I like going to church. I got a lot out of it.
That's great. The point that
there's somebody greater than me in the world that created me.
Sean, the point that we're trying to make is that there's a whole bunch of people out there for whom religion is the worst part of Christmas, but they go to church anyways, and we're here to tell them they don't have to. They can have a great Christmas, a Merry Christmas.
And you don't think they know that on their own? They really need you to tell them that?
I think they do,
I think you think too much of yourself. Todd.
Sean, look, if you take Christ out of Christmas, you got a tree. We already have a holiday for that. It's called Arbor Day. I think the other issue here is it really is an attack on Christianity, and here's the reason I say that. Where are the billboards? Where are the banners that say, take Muhammad out of Ramadan? Where are those? Where are those?
Where'd you put that up?
Where'd you put it up? You know it's a myth, and you have a choice in Arabic in New Jersey last year.
What did you put on the billboard?
You know it's a myth, and you have a choice in Arabic.
In Arabic.
In Arabic.
That's not quite as offensive as crisscrossing the name.
Exactly.
Christ. Would you put up a billboard, take Muhammad out of Ramadan, and cross out Muhammad's name?
I wouldn't be afraid to do that, but of course we don't have the problem because Ramadan is not a national holiday.
But I would argue that would be the same thing. You'd be doing that to stick it right in the face.
I would be happy to, but except that's not the point of the billboard. Ramadan without Muhammad isn't Ramadan.
But there are radical Islamists that might take issue with you.
But I don't care.
But that doesn't bother me at all. You're doing it to offend people.
No, we're doing it to clarify the fact that you don't need religion to have a great Christmas, and we're telling people not to.
Jesus is the reason for the season.
The winter solstice is the reason for the season.
All right, let's go. ESPN reversed their decision. They were banning a Christmas commercial from a Catholic children's hospital because of its religious content. Roll this tape.
Each Christmas, thousands in our community send messages of hope to sick and injured children who may not be able to come home for the holidays. At SSM Cardinal Glennon Children's Medical Center, we celebrate the birth of Jesus and the season of giving, bringing hope to the many children, parents, and families that we serve. Our patients are filled with hope as they receive a message each day from the treasure chest beneath our tree of hope.
They made me smile.
Help us reveal God's healing presence this Christmas. Send your message of hope at glennon.org.
Now, they originally passed on the ad because of the references they said to God and the birth of Christ. They're willing to pay their money. If you're willing to pay your money for a billboard, shouldn't they be able to run that ad?
They should. And it's up to ESPN. This is a free enterprise thing. This is not a separation of church and state issue. ESPN can make their own decisions. However, it is a bit hypocritical for them to allow Christian ads and not atheist ads. So American Atheist is going to try and get an ad on now that they're loosening their standards.
I don't care if you want to pay the freight. Pay it.
Would you have a problem with an atheist ad on football?
I don't have a problem. Your billboard, because I get you.
No, a TV commercial. Would you have a problem with a TV commercial?
No, I make my living with freedom of speech. But I also understand where you're coming from. So that doesn't bother me. Go ahead.
Well, let's be clear here, Sean. ESPN said that Jesus and God violate their community standards. I mean, what are they going to do next? Like blot out the John 3:16 signs at the football games?
Yeah, that might happen next. All right, we got another example. Nativity scene at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina was removed last week. The recommendation to remove a nativity scene. Anyway, this is what it says here. A display of the base came from the Pentagon lawyers who feared the plastic baby Jesus could give the appearance that the military is endorsing religion. The nativity was moved and put back in front of the base's chapel.
Sean, the people I talked to, I broke this story in our weekly column at foxnews.com, and apparently the soldiers at the base, or the airmen at the base, were so traumatized by the sight of this plastic Jewish family that they alerted the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, Mikey Weinstein's group. They called the Pentagon. 2 hours, 15 minutes later, they had the baby Jesus removed, just like that.
And what you didn't mention in your article was that 41 Air Force people objected to that. Hold on a second, Todd.
And David?
41 people objected, and 39 of those people were ethical Christians who were protesting against unethical Christians.
And David, let me tell you this. According to the Public Affairs Office at Shaw Air Force Base, not one complaint was registered on that military base. Not one.
No, it wasn't a complaint. It went through MRFF, and now MRFF, with 35,000 members.
You just said not one complaint was received.
They didn't go through the base.
Not one.
They went through MRF.
Let me ask you a
MRF
question.
has 35,000 members.
If I say Merry Christmas to you, are you offended?
35,000 members. Am I offended because you know that I don't celebrate Christmas? If I said Happy Ramadan to you, knowing that you don't celebrate Ramadan,
I'm asking, does all of this really offend you that much?
My point about the nativity, I really would like to answer the nativity, the nativity question. And the nativity question is that 39 Christians complained to MRF. 39 Christians
you said
complained.
it 40 times. Now I'm going to ask you my question. Because it seems to me...
My point is that it's not an attack on Christianity.
You have a majority...
The Christians are complaining.
I get it. You're an atheist.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned, an atheist has to believe something comes from nothing and that all of this magically, universes within universes
Not
appeared.
magically, no.
Well, okay.
Not magically at all.
But the point is, it seems to me where you have a lot of people that this is their faith, this is their religion, and you just want to stick it to them. Are you really that offended? Does it really bother you if somebody says Merry Christmas?
It's not about offending.
Do you really feel like you have to cross out Christ just to needle people?
It's not about offending. It's about spreading the word that religion is not necessary and is, in fact, a negative
You're not being
force in
honest.
this world.
You're not even honest with yourself.
I am being very honest.
Does it really, but I'm asking, does it really offend you if somebody says Merry Christmas or puts up a picture of the baby Jesus on Christmas? Does it bother you?
Not at all.
Then why are you spending money in Times Square?
Government funding. If government
it's not government funding in Times Square.
No, I'm allowed to express myself.
Does it really offend you if there's a nativity scene on
public
property? You're offended.
Or a private property.
You're offended.
Is it
public property?
Public property.
You're offended.
I am offended because it's favoritism from the government.
You need to lighten up and get some perspective.
Let's get some eggnog, David. Eggnog.
I like eggnog. Christians need to start obeying the law, and they have to stop complaining when they're forced to obey the law.
Oh, you poor victim. You poor innocent victim. The poor atheist that is all beaten up on by society.
It's against their law that it's their right.
Now, liberals love tolerance, but you are the intolerant one. You're totally intolerant of a majority view that is Christian in the country.
The majority has nothing to do with it. Equality.
You don't care.
I don't care if it's 99% to 1. We all have equal rights, Sean.
Yeah, we do, but you know what?
You and I
feign outrage.
We own the government.
And I don't believe you're as offended as you think.
At all.
You know what
really
I think?
Outraged.
I think you're trying to raise money by appealing to your base by going after Christian groups. That's what I think you're doing.
Nice to meet you, Kettle. My goodness, you're talking about raising funds.
I don't raise funds.
Raising funds by raising... This is a fake war on Christmas. We're putting up a billboard.
How many people have donated since you put your little sign up?
I'm not going to release that information.
Of course not. Yeah, checkmate. All right, we got to go.
Checkmate.
Thank you. Coming up next, a Michigan teacher